back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, TheJVaz, and you're watching TheJVazShow, music and entertainment at its finest. Joining us today, we got an artist from San Antonio, Texas. Before we get you there, make sure you follow us on all the social media pages at TheJVazShow. Check out the website, TheJVazShow.com. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, hit the subscribe button, rate the podcast, share the podcast, and thank you guys for listening. Let's get right into this. As I said, joining us from San Antonio, Texas, the Alien Babe. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So we were just talking, so it'll be kind of weird to ask you how you doing. We were just talking before the interview got started. But you know, like I did tell you all, we're pretty excited about this interview. You're actually the first artist from San Antonio that we get to have on the show. For whatever that's worth, we've had Dallas, Houston, and Midland and everything, but we haven't really touched the San Antonio market as we should.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure at all. But so, like I said, I know you're from San Antonio, Texas. Is that where you are originally from, or is that where you've been living here the last couple of years?
Yeah, I've lived here the past. I want to say maybe like 7-8 years. And I'm actually from a small town like an hour away. It's called Hondo. It's like
Hondo. Oh, okay. All right. Growing up, is hip hop something you've always been into, or what kind of music did you grow up on?
Literally all kinds of shit. I know everybody says that, but like, yeah, hip hop, obviously, like whatever was just on like the 2 main radio stations, when I was really little. So, and then, yeah, it was just a mix of everything. My parents were into like rock, so got a bunch of rock from them, and yeah, it was all over the place, my music style, taste.
Yeah. That's, as far as getting into the music industry, how long have you been making music?
I have actually been, the first song I officially recorded and released was 2016. But I had been recording since before that. I was in the studio kind of just recording covers and things like that, just here and there. And I did a couple original songs, but they never made it out, I guess. So it's been a few years. I've been recording with the same people, under the same kind of management family. Even before they became management, we were just tight for over 10 years now.
Over 10 years? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that's got to be pretty comfortable to be working with the same people, knowing how they work and things like that, knowing the support system, basically. How exactly did you get into the industry?
Actually, okay, so my manager, Jackie, she's actually my cousin, but we didn't like grow up together or anything. There's a big age gap. She's more like my mom's age. And I actually met her husband first because my dad knew him. So I was about 16. I think I had just turned 16, and I've always been into singing. I've always been into music. So when I was 16, my dad was like, "Hey, get in the car. I'm taking you to my homeboy's house. JD, he has a studio. You're going to go record a song." And I'm like, what do you mean? And so basically I went over there, and he introduced me to his homeboy, JD. And I recorded a cover of Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. And honestly, from there, I just like kind of never left. Like I said, I did a cover CD. It was like 5 covers that I recorded there with JD. And then it just escalated from there. I started writing original stuff, and to this day I still record with JD. So
speaking of your singing, I was just telling you how there's a song, we'll talk about it here in a second, but you have a really nice voice for singing. Before you were the Alien Babe, you used to go by Laura D. What's the difference in style between Laura D and the Alien Babe?
It's a huge difference in my eyes. Laura D was kind of, I have 4 singles under Laura D out, and they were kind of all over the place genre wise, which I couldn't really pin, like find it. So they all sound very different from each other, I think. But I love all the songs on there that are under Laura D, right? They're all very personal, very close to me, and I love them. But for me, it just wasn't, they weren't what I would like listen to. Like the stuff that I listen to in my, like just my playlists and stuff was nothing like the music that I was creating. And I think I kind of was playing it safe for a while. Mostly because, like, especially when the first single came out, which was White Line, I had literally just had my son. So I think I was kind of more in the mindset that I needed to be, like my son's gonna hear this one day. Like I don't want to be like disrespectful or anything. And I was playing it really safe. And then also like my grandparents, they were like super proud of me when I started recording music, like releasing music, and it was on like iTunes, and they're like, oh my God. So I think I just kind of didn't want to make any music that they wouldn't be proud of, or and then after a while I just said like fuck it, pretty much. And I just really wanted to make music that I 100% would like bump, like it's the type of music that I'm listening to at the moment. It's more fun. I'm not that I'm not taking it seriously, but the lyrics content wise, it's not as like deep. Like the other songs I wrote under Laura D were all very like about raw like topics. And
they all sounded like they had a real deep meaning to them.
Definitely. And the Alien Babe is just turning up and having fun. And I feel like I'm not getting any younger. So if I'm gonna, make something that I can like twerk to, I might as well do it now.
Better do it now, yeah. So whenever you were Laura D, there was a song that really caught our attention, when we were introduced to your music, and it's something that we wanted to talk about to get the backstory of it. There's a song called, I'm so used to talking in Spanish, so when I think of it, I think of Abigail. Abigail, right? So talk to us about that song. What is this? Is this song like a personal thing that you were going through, and how exactly did you come about the idea of putting this song together?
So Abigail is actually my little sister, and I love her to death. She's practically my best friend. And she had been going through it for a couple months already. Like she was just really depressed, like to the point where like, she wouldn't come out of her room. She was just sleeping all day, like wasn't eating, like she was not herself at all, because she's a very bubbly, like happy person. And it just, it kills me to see her like that.
Yeah.
And this one night in particular, she had texted me, and she still lived in Hondo, so an hour away. And it must have been like 3 a.m. And she had texted me some like really scary stuff, like, like just what was going through her head.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I was, an hour away from her. It's 3 a.m. I can't like, just run and see her. It's really not that far, but I just didn't know what to do at the moment to console her. And I just felt like so bad. And same night, I just, I didn't even really plan it. I was just playing with my guitar. And it was actually the second song I ever wrote with my guitar. And I just recorded this song for her, like just on my phone, a video, and I sent it to her. And she just texted me back. She was like crying and like, oh my God, I love it. Like, thank you so much. And honestly, I think it did help her. And And I know now, like, whenever she gets into these like funks, she'll put it on. And I think it was like a week later that I had posted it to Facebook, the video of me singing it. And I just had like a huge, like overwhelming response to the song of people that were like, they were messaging me like, oh my God, this song helped me so much. Like, thank you so much for writing this. And are you ever gonna record it, like release it? And I didn't plan on doing it at first because to me, it was really like, I struggled with posting it on Facebook even because to me, it was just like for my sister.
Yeah.
And I just had people kept messaging me and asking me if it was going to be recorded. And I ended up asking her if it was okay with her that I record it and release it. And what she said was, if it can help somebody else the way that it helped me, then definitely like people need to hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I came about releasing that one.
So a couple of things, that caught my attention. First, the guitar. So you play the guitar as well?
A little bit, yeah. That's not actually me on the track. On the track is actually Dirty Dan Sanchez. But yeah, I do. I just a little
bit. Any other instruments that you play?
No. When I was younger, I was actually okay at playing the keyboard, and I would just play by ear because to this day I really can't read music. Like, it took me. I was surprised at how I caught on with reading the guitar because this was new. This is like the past like year and a half maybe that I started learning the guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the comments that you made as far as the song, you said your sister said if it can help other people. One of the reasons that I like the song, I kind of felt like, you were talking about like somebody in dealing with depression. And I think that's one of the reasons that it really caught my attention, just because it's cool to hear music that has, how do I say, like a stronger meaning, music that will affect other people in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And then not to mention your voice was amazing on there. It was just very well put. How does it feel to know that you can make that kind of music to help people get through times, not just your sister, but like you said, there was people hitting you up on Facebook. How does it feel as an artist to get that sort of compliment that you're helping people deal through hard times that they're dealing with in their life?
That's the best. That's the best part of what I do for me. Like, aside from actually being on the stage and performing, I think it's those moments that just really keep me going. Like, I had so many people with that song tell me, like this song has helped me so much. And then also I have another song, Rainbow Baby. People with that one have reached out to me like from all over the world pretty much too. And it's a really like awesome feeling knowing that it can touch people this deeply,
So with those, for example, those songs that it helps people deal with what they're going through. It has a real good meaning behind them. How hard was it to change your style to say, or better yet, before we get to that question, how did this idea of making the transition to the Alien Baby come about?
So if you look up Laura D on iTunes or whatever, part of it is because there is already another Laura D. And sometimes our music gets mixed up. Like, my music will be under that catalog, and then hers will be under mine. And then also all the basic, like, easy to remember Laura D handles were like taken on social media and stuff. And so it just started with my Instagram name. That was the Alien Babe was my Instagram name in the beginning. Like, I was still going by Laura D, but my Instagram was the Alien Babe because Laura D was taken. And the Alien Babe because I'm like really into aliens. I'm kind of obsessed. I have a lot of, like real life abduction books and stuff. And so yeah, I just randomly went with the Alien Babe. And then I would go to shows and like see other people that are like in the music industry or whatever, and be like, oh shit, it's the alien babe, alien babe coming through. And eventually it was just what people like remembered more than Laura D. And at the same time was when I was wanting to transition into like a different genre kind of. And I didn't feel like both the Alien Babes music and Laura D's music could be on the same like
They can't coexist. It has to be
like
one or
not
the
the
other.
same library, because they're just so different. And I also didn't want to get rid of the old songs. I wanted to keep them, keep them alive, keep them going, but under my old name or my real name.
Yeah. So let's talk about aliens right quick. So you say you're big into aliens. I see you got a lot of cool looking tattoos. Do you have any alien tattoos?
My only alien tattoo actually is this little one right here.
Any tattoos with meaning, like that was like a personal?
Oh, I have a lot of personal.
A lot of those.
Yeah, like this. This right here is my grandma, my great grandma who passed. This right here is the baby that I lost, who I actually wrote Rainbow Baby.
Rainbow Baby.
Yeah, because of. And this pumpkin is for my mom. This right here is for my cousin Buki, who passed away. Yeah, a lot of them have a really deep meaning, and a lot of them I just like the way they look.
Yeah. So now let's talk about aliens real quick, because this is something that I try to get into, but just some recommendations for the listeners and for myself selfishly. Anytime I try to look up like documentaries or anything about aliens on Netflix or something, they all sound kind of too hard to believe. What is it about?
Yeah, Netflix is very corny. Like, well, any show you find, I feel like, is going to be corny to a certain level. But the reason why I got so into it was because I hadn't read a book since like high school, right? And this was like 5 years ago maybe, that I went to this bookstore and I found this book called Reaching for Reality. And have you ever seen that movie, The Fourth Kind?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So this book, the description of this book, I read it and I was like, there's no way this is real, because it was like literally the plot to The Fourth Kind. So it's like there's a therapist who has multiple patients that are giving her kind of like the same story, like they're having trouble when they sleep, like this and that. And so this book, this therapist was actually from, I don't remember where she was from, but I know all of the cases and all of the patients or whatever were all from within a 200-mile radius of San Antonio. So they were all like local people, and it was just crazy. Like each chapter was a person's different story, right? And then towards the end, two of those people had their own chapter together, because this therapist realized that they were from opposite sides of the 200 miles, and they'd never met, they didn't know each other, but they both described being abducted and seeing the same surroundings and even people. Like this one girl was like, yeah, there was a woman in like red plaid pajamas or something, and that was that woman. So she gave them their own chapter together because they were actually abducted together in the same UFO. So that book, yeah, and there was like specific, there's a road in between here and Hondo, 173. And my cousin lives on that road, and she sees crazy shit in the sky all the fucking time. She'll call me and be like, bitch, I just saw some fucking light. And I'm always so jealous. I'm like, man, why can't I see those fucking lights? I want to see it. But she's always seeing crazy stuff out there. And that road was actually in the book. Like somebody had experienced something.
Well, what's the name of the book again? Reaching for Reality. Selfishly, this was about me. I'll write this down. All right, so So the Alien Babe transition. How did your following that you had when you were Laura D? How did they adjust to the transition from Laura D to the Alien Babe?
Um, for the most part, I think fine, but I also think they're kind of still adjusting because I only have one song released right now under the Alien Babe. So, um, yeah, like when that one came out, people were lost, like, oh, what the hell? Like, where's your song? I can't find it. And I'm like, it's not under, what you already have saved, a whole nother name. But as far as it's definitely a different audience because before, like, I had a lot of like older people into my music. Like I said, it's all like very deep meaning stuff, and I had a lot of older people into it, and I think now, like, the same older people that were into that are not going to be into Pussy on the Moon with the Alien. So it's a transition for sure.
So the song that you're referring to is Brujeria. That's the one that's currently out under Alien Babe, correct?
Yes.
Brujeria, being that the Alien Babe, how come your first song wasn't an alien related song? Well,
what had happened was the first song I wrote and recorded as the Alien Babe was actually called UFO, and that's my next one dropping. What had happened was it was right before Halloween, so I just felt like Brujeria was going to be a good, and I was supposed to have a video and everything, and shit just didn't work out. Even the release was like, I think it was like a couple days late. I was trying to release it before Halloween, and it ended up coming out after Halloween. And yeah, so it was like a whole mess, but basically that's the only reason why we went with that one first. And yeah, so the next one is going to be UFO, and it's kind of alien related.
So I was talking to your manager, and there's a single that you guys have, unreleased single with Kap G. Talk to us about that single. What can we expect, when we hear it, and just what can people expect with the whole Alien Babe and Kap G collaboration?
That song. I think that song is gonna be wild. Like, I know the song itself is wild, but I just feel like it'll get a good reaction. My producer, Clef, he's a goddamn wizard. Like, I don't know how he does this shit. Like, I just actually wrote it's called Rocket Raccoon. I actually wrote it while I was in the studio, while Ryan was, Clef was making the beat. Like, I kind of went in and was like, I don't really have anything ready. Like, I'm just blank, but give me like a badass beat, like just fucking fuck me up. And I think I had given him, what reference was it? Oh, it's a song called Sally Walker by Iggy Azalea. And I had shown him that kind of as a reference because I really fucked with the beat. And he was like, all right. So he just starts fucking clicking keys. And before you know it, it was this dope ass beat. And I started writing about 30 minutes into the session. I felt where it was going, and I just started writing. And so the hook for this song is called, or the hook for the song is "Poppin' Pussy on the Moon." Like, I literally called my mom. Like I'm saying, I used to play it real safe with my music, like, want to be respectful. My grandparents are gonna hear this. I legit like called my mom and I was like, "Mommy, can I say pussy on my song?" And she pretty much was like, I mean, yeah, if you have to. Like, she just hates that word. Like, so I'm like, all right, cool. My mom said yes. And then when I told my grandma, and my grandma said, "Mija, do what you need to do, mija. You do what you need to do." It was over. So actually, that line wasn't even supposed to be the hook. It was like I was writing it and I was stuck on this one part. I was like, all right, Clef, this is what I have so far. I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know where else to go from here. Just give me a minute. And he's like, all right, well, show me what you have so far. And he was like, say that fucking last part again. So I hit it with the last part again. And he's like, we need to lay this down, what you have so far. And I did. And then he did his wizard shit, and he just chopped up the last part of what I had sang and made it into a hook. And I didn't even want to touch it after that. I was like, this sounds fucking dope. Like, I was like, I can't even write a second verse that will like compare to what we have right now. Like, I just didn't want to fuck it up. And I was like, a feature would be dope. And yeah, we just were shopping around and came across Kap G, and he killed that shit. Like I didn't give him any guidance on what to say, what anything. Like we just sent him the track and he just spit flames all over it.
When can we expect for this track to come out?
Oh, I would say within the next couple months.
Couple months?
Yeah. I have one coming up ASAP. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the artwork to be done, and then we're gonna upload and announce it. But as soon as that one's out, Rocket Raccoon is coming.
So how excited are you about this release? Not just because it's Kap G, but because it's gonna basically put a stamp on the Alien Babe.
Yes.
How excited are you about this project being released?
I'm super, super fucking excited. Like you said, like not only because it's Kap G, but because I feel like this song kind of like sets the tone for the vibe that the Alien Babe is. And like right now I've been like so irritated that I only have like one song out, because I'm like, oh, I'm not just a spooky bitch. Like I need more songs. Let's release them. Just give it to them.
Obviously, yeah. Kap G is a pretty big name. Besides Kap G, what other artists would you like to work with in the upcoming future?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think I've really thought about that. That's a good one. I feel like I would want to collab with like some girls. Like if I could collab with like some big name girls. I don't know if you know who Abra is. Abra is another Alien Babe influence. Kind of was born by listening to Abra, but I would love to collab with her somehow.
Abra. As far as San Antonio artists, well, any San Antonio artists in particular you would like to collaborate with, put some music together?
Oh, I think I'm gonna have to go with Baby Boy on that one. I don't know if you know who that is.
No idea.
Yeah, Baby Boy is he's like the embodiment of you know how Nicki Minaj had that alter ego Roman?
Yeah.
I feel he gives me Roman vibes, but he's just got, I don't know. When he performs, it's always like a show. Like you ain't never just gonna stand around and watch this dude perform. Like he's just all over the place. Like he's dancing and
he's electric. Speaking of performing, have you performed under Alien Babe yet?
Yes, I have.
What was the difference in? Because I'm sure it was a different vibe performing your deep songs as Laura D, and then here comes Alien Babe. What was the difference in performing as the Alien Babe and performing as Laura D?
Performing as the Alien Babe is so much more fun. Like I get to let loose. I get to dance. I get to like twerk just because like like that. And I feel like it's like I love singing on stage. I actually singing, with like my old songs, and with Laura D, when I would perform under Laura D, like I just felt I did feel like a connection with the audience. Like people would make like direct eye contact with me and like, oh man, like this song is dope. And you know, just I could see that like gaze.
Yeah.
But with the Alien Babe, it's like that on a different level. Like it's people that are actually like, people are dancing with me and like getting hype, and it's cool to see that I can make like, you know, people like turn up like that, I guess.
Yeah. Being that they, you know, like I told in the beginning of the interview, I feel like you're very talented when you were doing music with Laura D, and now that you know you're capable of doing Alien Babe music, is there any chance that we'll eventually get projects from you, but one project as Alien Babe, and then months later we'll get a Laura D project as well, or is Laura D just completely out of the picture and it's mainly the Alien Babe?
No, I think I definitely would add some more to the Laura D catalog.
Yeah.
Sure.
I know you mentioned you have, what's the name of the track with Kap G again?
Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon. So that's going to be your project. You say you're going to release that in the next couple of months. Any other upcoming projects, music videos, anything else we should be on the lookout for?
Yes, I'm actually going to release UFO probably within this month, before the month of May is over. And I'm also going to be dropping a music video for that soon after.
Awesome. Let's talk about UFO. Obviously, that's alien related. That's going to be your first alien related.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that track. Obviously, it's the title UFO, but what can we expect when that video and that single drops?
I feel like the video, the song is dope and it's one thing, but I feel like the video is kind of gonna, like, people aren't gonna expect like, oh, is that what it's about? Like the song is, the hook is cruising through space in my UFO, so check me out. How does it go? No, I'm just kidding.
Forgot the lyrics.
Yeah, I did. But the song basically is about, like, in so many words, that, you know, the world is kind of like fucked up right now, you know, crazy shit's been happening. And basically in the song, I'm just saying, like, this shit is getting crazy. Like, I got the keys to the UFO. Like, let's dip. Like, let's just
get the hell out of here.
And yeah, it's like, I got the keys, I got the weed, let's ride. And we're just leaving Earth because it's fucking fucked up and it's crazy.
So you got UFO dropping here in the next month or so. We got Rocket Raccoon. That's like a tongue twister to me for some reason.
Yeah.
With Kap G dropping as well. Before we let you go, where can people find you in social media?
Social media, I am the Alien Babe Official on Instagram, the Alien Babe on Twitter and Facebook, and you can find my music on everything: Spotify, iTunes, Apple, even YouTube, whatever.
We'll be sure to put all those links on the description of the podcast and on the description of the video as well. Any last minute shout outs? Any shout outs you want to give out to your fans, to your family?
Yes. Shout out to my team, 1601. They've been really working this year, 2020. They've been grinding, getting shit done for us. So shout out to 1601.
Shouts out to 1601. Shouts out to Jacqueline. Once again, Alien Babe, we appreciate you making time for us. We appreciate you, coming on the show for us. And we're really looking forward to the upcoming projects. Again, we love the Laura D projects, and we can't wait to hear all of the Alien Babe projects as well. And once again, the Alien Babe, follow her on all the social media pages on Instagram, Twitter. Those links will be on the description of the podcast. We'll link her YouTube page as well. And from San Antonio, Texas, all the way to Houston, Texas, the Alien Babe. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.